Well, hello, I have some new toys. This heavyweight paper I've never seen before, and kids paint sticks. I don't know what this is. Let's play with them. I got them all at Michael's for like $8 a piece. So, 8 and 8 and 8. That's how much it cost for all these supplies together. But, okay, the colors are on the back. I easily ripped the box and I didn't make it. But let's try to make some fine art with these. There's always a chance this turns into a disaster, which is, kind of the risk you take when you try to do cool stuff with kid supplies. You never know really what you're going to get. Those little plastic pieces are kind of cool, though. I'm going to save them so I can put, like, watercolor in them or something. Use what you got. For real, you'd be surprised the things that you could turn into art supplies, which is kind of the premise of this video in particular. I don't know what these paint sticks are. I don't even know if there's like an adult version of a paint stick like this. I have no idea what this is. Maybe it's like temper paint. Maybe it's like temper paint in a stick form or something. I don't know. We're gonna find out. And I was kind of hoping that paper would do really good with like other kids supplies, because that's where I found it. I found it in the kids supplies section. So we're gonna give it a shot. I don't know. Maybe it'll work with like Crayola crayons and stuff too. But there's 100 of them. I mean, I can make 100 drawings with them. It's not bad. It got some good thickness to it. So we'll test it out. And look at this. It got like the colors on them, so that's nice. It's a nice feature. You don't always get that with kid supplies. They're not always named. But this magenta one, we're gonna see how much paint is in this thing, because I'm curious. Ooh, hey, that's a decent amount of paint. We can work with this. We can work with this. It's very much like a glue stick. That's kind of the size of this thing. Oh, and of course, I already have it on myself. But we're gonna give it a shot. Oh, I ruined it. It won't go all the way back down again. Oh, well. Can't win them all. Let's test those out. Let's see what colors these are. Well, look at how bright these are. Oh my goodness, how delightful. That is really probably my favorite thing about using kid supplies is the brightness and the vibrancy, and so many of the supplies are like this. Probably because that's what kids are really drawn to, the really bright, vivid colors and that sort of thing. Kids like that kind of stuff. Well, maybe I never really grew up all the way, but because I like that stuff too. And the really cool thing, look at this. It did not, it doesn't smear. It almost immediately dries real quick. So we'll see what it's like putting a layer on top. And look at that. They layer on top pretty easy. We'll do a little color roundy things. See what do you call that? Venn diagram of colors or something? Well, you put the red, the blue, and the yellow together and see how they mix. And that's not bad. That's not bad. But it all dried. Even multiple layers dried. Excellent. I think we can work with these. Yes. How about a bunny? I'm feeling a little like spring, so I want a bunny. I like buns. I like them a lot. When I was a very small child, my favorite toy was a bunny. And very creatively, the bunny's name was Bunny. So I never really grew out of liking bunnies. I like bunnies, little buns. And I live in kind of in the woods. So there's a lot of bunnies out there. There's a lot of bunnies that just live out everywhere, and you see them every once in a while. But hey, this is layering pretty decent. I can't really get much of detail with this just by virtue of how big it is. It is like drawing with glue sticks. That's really what the feeling and the texture is like. It's like opaque paint sticks. But I think we could do some cool stuff with all the brightness and the vibrancy of this. We could do some fun stuff. And I'm already finding out that they don't really mix. They dry so quick that you can't mix them. So you can layer them though. So if we try that, I think we're gonna do okay. But instantly dry. Love that. Love that so much, so I can work real quick. Let's do another test. I think this time I'm gonna try another bunny, but we're gonna do more layering to see what happens with the colors. I don't know, we're gonna find this out. This is the first time I've used something like this. I'm a little disappointed about the level of detail I'm able to get on a page like this. I'm gonna have to go bigger. I'm really gonna have to go bigger. Probably one of my biggest sheets of paper is probably gonna be what I'm gonna have to do the actual final piece on. But for testing, this is good. This heavyweight paper is actually taking this pretty well. It does kind of like warble a little bit, but you know, this isn't exactly a dry medium, so it'd probably handle like super dry stuff like crayons much better than it's doing these. But I mean, it's still taking these pretty good. So, and look, so multiple layers, not bad. This will take multiple layers. So let's do kind of like a rainbow gradient, see if there's a way for me to like kind of blend them. And let me tell you, no, they don't blend. They layer, but they do not blend, not at all. So that's a good thing to know. I mean, you can kind of fake it a little bit by adding different layers because they're not opaque. They are transparent. So you can kind of fake it by having multiple layers of the transparency. So, you know, not the worst. But we'll work with that. I want to try one more test. And this test is going to be having whole bunches of layers to see what happens. Because I saw in the earlier bun that multiple colors layered on top of each other made some super interesting dark colors. So I'm going to do that with all the colors, just essentially put circles down of everything so that they kind of interlapped and intersect in different ways unexpectedly to see how deep and how interesting the colors can get. It's another good test to do on a medium you're not very super familiar with, just to see how they interact with each other. And you do get some really interesting earth tones doing this, so that's a very good thing to know. But you still like get some of the vibrancy. So oh man, I think we can do something cool with these. You ready? We're gonna go big Bristol, the big Bristol. We're getting it out, okay? It has to happen, it has to. And I know this video is up late for Carnival, but I wanna do it anyway. I don't care. I want to do it anyway. I want to do something that needed the bright colors. And when I think of bright colors, I think of Fat Tuesday and Carnival and all of that sort of thing, and circuses and carousels and cotton candy and all that sort of thing that you'd find at certain times of the year during festivals and celebrations. That's what these are making me think of. Those bright, delightful colors that just grab your eye and your attention, and just it makes you feel like you got a little extra energy to be around them. Do you like circuses and carnivals and stuff, or do you find them creepy? I found that you either think it's one way or the other. There's not a lot of people in between. I really like them. Could it be because it's the only place that I am allowed to binge eat cotton candy? Maybe. However, I like the bright colors as well. I like the carousels and the ways the horses are painted. And so that's what I wanted to do today with these beautiful bright colors. I wanted to do some carousel horses. That's what these are. I was lucky enough to spend one carnival in Rome. I didn't participate in it because I was actually studying quite hard. I always took studies very seriously, but it was kind of cool to at night walk around the city and see all the people in costumes and masks, and see the like fireworks and that kind of thing. And I never really ate out. I didn't have a lot of the food while I was there because I couldn't really afford it. I was a college kid. There wasn't a lot of money to go around. In the apartment that I shared with the other students, we cooked a lot. So we'd make a lot of pasta and a lot of cheeses and that kind of thing. Very kind of a traditional Italian food, but on the cheap as you could. And during that time, that week in particular, I remember not eating a lot because I was just so fascinated by all the people and the things outside. I was just walking around the city at night after I'd got done with the studio work. Just being in that atmosphere was quite delightful. There's a lot to be said about the energy you can find in a large group of people when they're doing joyful activities. There's a different spark to the air when you are in groups in that way, like like being at a joyful church, with a group of like-minded people who seem to be kind of like projecting a energy that you can get on board with. And there seems to be a electricity to the air. You know, we are in a way very electric beings. We are. A lot of communication is not verbal. It is not visual. A lot of it is actually quite electric. And I don't have a great word to describe it, so I kind of tongue-in-cheek will call it a vibe. I know it's not a great word to use. Vibe has a lot of connotations to it that I don't mean when I use it. I just don't have a better word for it. But I mean that sort of electric kind of communication that is, in a way, psychic. I don't have a great way to describe this. I'm only trying to build the pathways in my brain to be able to speak about this at all anyway. In a lot of ways, I'm trying to talk about the language of crowds, the language of a population that moves without traditional speech. Have you not felt the joyous surge in a crowd when a sports team makes a very, very, very unexpected, delightful play? Have you noticed that? Have you paid attention to that sort of thing? Try it next time you're in a crowd. Try to read the room. Try to get a better grasp on what is around you and what the feeling is like, and how the pheromones of all the people around you are changing your own perception of things. Because it does. It really, really does. Have you also been in a crowd when things turn sour? It's not a great place to be. But if you've felt that, if you know what that feels like, it wasn't because somebody told you something. It wasn't because of that. Not at all. It was because the electricity in the air changed. It's because the pheromones in the air changed. One of the most horrid consequences of the past couple of years of world events have been the kind of destruction of being in groups and having that sort of communication between large masses of people. That has been destroyed. That is gone right now. You can't have it in the same way that it was before. I guarantee the Carnival of today does not feel like the Carnival of 10 years ago. I guarantee it. I'd put money on it because the circumstances have changed. And that's kind of the feature of this that makes this painting in particular kind of creepy for me, is that this is like a dream that is a little too bright, a little too vibrant, and it has a tinge of horror to it. Just a little, just a touch to make you uncomfortable. But this painting went over really well. I'm going to use these sticks again. These are definitely Melissa approved. Oh yes. They were fun. But yeah, we're definitely going to play with those again. Maybe I can find an adult version. I don't know. But thank you for hanging out today. Bye.
No, 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 no. No, no. You good boy. You good boy.